I've been looking forward to this tag team championship match for some time now. I'm a fan of, believe it or not, I am a fan of Alistair Diamond.
Really?
There's something about that young man that I find quite interesting.
Do you not watch the webcasts?
Yes, that might be why I'm a fan of it.
Just try staying in a small studio room for him for more than 5 minutes. You'll understand why he's just a thorn in my side.
But he does wear nice bow ties.
They're clip-ons. He wears clip-ons.
No, they're not clip-ons. He ties them. And I think by Daniel Anderson taking him under his wing, giving him the knowledge of the Anderson family, that Alistair is going to go to great heights in his company.
Yeah, actually, I agree with you on that one. Probably the best career decision he's made yet is teaming up with the veteran Daniel Anderson.
Now, one of the worst decisions that both of them have made are getting in the ring with these two idiots here that like to bark. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of K9 Carnage. I know that the people like them, but there's something about them that I can't grasp. I don't know what it is.
These guys are absolute monsters. We know Mad Dog Miller's been in CCW for a very long time. Recently brought in last year Bad Dog Brody, and they quickly ascended to the top of the tag team division, and now they are the tag team champions.
And they're big, strong, burly guys. But one thing I've noticed is that they have limited wrestling ability. And I think that's what bothers me about them, is that, you know, I took years to master my craft. And lifting weights and being strong is not all it takes. But it'll be interesting to see now what Alistair can do against this big Brody.
Now, to his credit, Alistair Diamond did help defend the CCW Tag Team Championship last year. But in just his second match as part of the Diamond Exchange, as part of half the Tag Team Champions, he and Daniel Anderson lost those belts to their opponents in the ring tonight, K9 Carnage.
Now, how much do you think Alistair Diamond weighs? Ballpark figure.
500-600 pounds at least.
Okay. So that man just picked up 500 or 600 pounds, according to you, and set him on the top ring rope like he was a bag of groceries.
In all reality, Alistair Diamond probably in the high 200s, maybe low 300s. It's no joke. He's a big guy, and Bad Dog Brody.
Look at this. He just powered out, and he actually has a wrestling hold. That is impressive. He actually, oh!
Had a wrestling hold. He had a wrestling hold.
Gets that leg, gets that leg. He's got to hold on to it. Ah. And a tag in.
Alistair wants no part of Mad Dog Miller. He don't want any part of both of them.
I've been a little harsh on the tag team champions. I'm gonna give them some credit. They are the tag team champions, and they deserve a little credit. But now you've got the veteran Daniel Anderson out there with Alistair. They're regrouping, they're rethinking things over.
Alistair doing what he does best, running his mouth.
Now let's see what Mr. Anderson here can do. Lock up in the middle of the ring here, tight up. Nice headlock by Daniel Anderson. And he just picks him up and throws him like he's a...
Didn't slam him, just tossed him.
Just tossed him over.
We got baseball season coming up in a couple months. I guess he's getting ready for spring training.
These guys are super strong. I'll give them that. I'll give them that. If they would get back into learning the fundamentals of wrestling and actually learning some maneuvers and holds, I think that they could go, they could probably control the tag team area, tag team championship for years to come here. And I think that's where the brains over brawn might come in here. I'm not sure.
You might be right, Fred. You might be right. Daniel Anderson going to take another try at Mad Dog Miller here in the ring.
elbow tie-up. Mad Dog pulls him back. There you go. Went to the well once too often.
That's over 300 pounds going shoulder first in that steel ring post. So there's no padding there. That's just pure steel.
And there we go. The Anderson trademark. They're working on that arm. They are going to work on that arm. And as Alistair let us know, that is an arm bar. See, Alistair does know wrestling.
Daniel Anderson working over that arm, that shoulder, that elbow of Mad Dog Miller.
That quick spinning elbow drop, I've always liked that from Daniel Anderson.
The safest place for the Diamond Exchange is to have K9 Carnage on their backs and off their feet. That's just what he's got right here in the middle of the ring.
And that's the best place to keep them because guess what? When they're on their backs, their strength is negligated. Negligated. However you say that word. I think I said it right the first time.
Bit of a high-risk maneuver from Alistair Diamond. Don't normally see him on the turnbuckles. But he tags into the match and goes right to work on that same arm that Daniel Anderson was working over just moments ago.
Well, that's where that veteran experience has come in, and Daniel has taught Alistair. They've been in the gym working out. They've been in there talking about their tag team strategy, watching films on these guys, and they might have found a weak link here. I know that several years ago, Mad Dog was out with an injury, and I think it was to that arm. And cutting off the ring right there, having the referee distracted, that's a tag team there. His own partners are hurting him right now.
With all that experience that Daniel Anderson has, all that family experience, he's learned every trick in the book, and he's using it to his advantage right now.
And they tagged in. And all they're doing is they're dangling a bone in front of the dogs, and they're coming out for it right now.
Alistair Diamond, very full of himself in the middle of the ring.
Needs to stick with that arm, though. He needs to stick with that arm.
They're executing great strategy, keeping Mad Dog Miller isolated out of his own corner. He hasn't even been close to making an attack to Bad Dog Brody in quite a while.
They have cut the ring in half, and that's a sign of a good tag team. Cutting the ring in half, working the guy in your corner only. Don't let him get over to the other corner. Oh, nice leg drop on the arm. He is working hard on that arm right now. And the fans are picking up for the K9 Carnage. Cheering on for Mad Dog, and he is making a slight comeback here. He's firing those rights into the gut. But he has no force behind him with that left arm hurt. He's backed him up. Oh, headbutts. Headbutts to the chest. He is driving his through this man's chest.
He's going to cave his chest in.
Arm. He is still holding on to that arm. He is still hurting. Daniel's smart. He's going to try to grab a shoe, grab something, get the tag in. Oh, big slam.
Is he going to be able to complete this?
And there was a blind tag there.
Right to the eyes, and Alistair snuck in a tag. The ref saw it, so it's legal.
Ref was telling Alistair to come in, and Daniel was sticking fingers in the eyes.
Anderson was pulling the ropes away, so Mad Dog could not get to the ropes to break the hold.
And again, his partner is hurting him right now. While Brody was chasing Daniel around the ring, Alistair was able to work the fingers and the hands of the Mad Dog, putting more injury to that arm.
K9 Carnage, one of their, their main features is that they're so strong. And when you take that strength part away from them, what do you got left over? I know they're the champions, but now I'm starting to wonder what's left over after all of this.
That was my point at the beginning. Like I said, I might have been a little harsh with it, but their wrestling technique is not up to the par of the Diamond Exchange. They have taken the strength away. Oh!
Double clothesline, just about knocked both guys' heads off. And they are both down and out.
And if you notice, though, he threw that clothesline with his right arm. And he's holding that left arm again because that is the one that they've been working over. Daniel grabbing his foot there, but just needs to jump out and make that tag.
Alistair gets it.
Oh
no, Brody's in the ring, and he's throwing haymakers.
And a big body slam. This is a big, fresh man to be letting in.
It's about throwing these guys almost through the ring. Bad Dog Brody is a beast of a man.
He is a huge man. And what is this? And he came down again in the lower thigh, as you would say.
The lower thigh. But it may have hurt Mad Dog Miller's shoulder on that landing. He's still nursing it there. Wait, Alistair Diamond.
Alistair Diamond comes in with the bone. And the referee has disqualified the Diamond Exchange. Is that what we understand here?
That's what I'm guessing. Alistair Diamond just cost themselves the tag team championship. What's going on here?
I'm confused here right now. I really don't have a clue what's going on. The referee's coming over to talk about this. And according to the referee,
the winners of this match as a result of this qualification, and still your CCW Tag Team Champions, K9 Carnage.
well, there you have it, folks. K9 Carnage defends the Tag Team Championship right here on Superstars of the Ring.
Continental Championship Wrestling.
Have you ever dreamed of crowds chanting your name? Would you like to enjoy the exciting life of being a professional wrestler? Continental Championship Wrestling exists to help make your dreams a reality. In business for over 25 years, Continental Championship Wrestling has been the starting point of many careers that have spanned into the worlds of World Championship Wrestling, TNA, New Japan, and the WWE. Regardless of your age, size, or athletic ability, we are willing to work with you to bring out your best. Learn today from some of the most amazing talent in professional wrestling.
Welcome back, wrestling fans. There you saw K9 Carnage retaining their tag team championship against Alistair Diamond and Daniel Anderson, the Diamond Exchange. It was a big, huge match, one that's been building for a long time. Certainly, we're going to hear from the Diamond Exchange on how they feel about K9 Carnage and really how they feel about the new CCW Heavyweight Champion, Daniel Anderson. Now, you might have noticed somebody new on commentary this week. CCW legend Fred Avery joined me all night at Stampede for commentary. Interestingly enough, a couple days after the match, I got a text message from Alistair Diamond, who had watched the match and heard Fred Avery's commentary, and this is what he said here. He said, Fred Avery is to wrestling what Fred Flintstone is to wrestling. I think that's a little out of line, but we know Alistair Diamond's not really the sharpest tool in the shed, so we'll just leave that at that, let those guys work it out on their own. Another big match, big tag team match from Stampede. We saw it last week on the webcast. Was Rock and Roll Chris Turner and Jamie McKinnon defeating the Society of Sin. This week we caught up with Chris Turner to get some of his views, some of his thoughts about all the events that went down at Stampede. So let's go ahead and take you away to this week's interview with Rock and Roll Chris Turner.
Now that Stampede is over, everybody's wondering what's in the future for Rock and Roll Chris Turner. where does CCW go? Well, I'm going to tell you what, once again, the officials, Richard Marshall, and everybody who is in the front office did an incredible job putting Stampede together. And the reason people like myself, Shooter McGee, Eric Moore is in CCW because of nights like that. As we walk around the ring and we meet the fans, met a group from near Tampa, met a group that comes from Hilliard every show. The people that come to watch CCW is incredible. And that's why Rock and Roll Chris Turner is here in CCW. And where do I go from here? Well, I'm going to tell you what. Society of Sin, it's not over. Because at the end of that match, Solo Jones, you decided to interfere. After we already beat the other two, you tried to interfere. Probably the strongest member of Society of Sin. Why? Who knows? Jamie McKinnon, at the end of that match, you hit Eric Moore, you tried to take my head off. So I know it's not over with you. I know the feud is not over. And we're going to have to end it in 2016. The championship is on Daniel Anderson. Daniel, your dad was one of the greatest champions in CCW history. And now you have it. And now you're walking around like you deserved it. Well, I'm going to tell you what. You don't deserve it. Because it was Alistair's help that got you that title. But with that said, looking forwards from here, CCW is only on the rise. CCW, one of the top promotions in the world today. And actually, like we saw, Stampede is why. That's why Rock and Roll Chris Turner's here. So for all the fans out there wondering where we go from here, it's going to be a ride. Because I guarantee you 2016 is going to be good for CCW. 2016 will be good for Rock and Roll Chris Turner. Because I'm going to end the feud with Jamie McKinnon. I'm going to end the feud with Society of Sin. And I'm going to get the CCW Championship once again.